There we
Oh, good. Nice. I am right spot.
go. Where's the mayor? Yeah.
There.
Where's the mayor? He's coming, isn't he?
Said he was.
Need signatures.
Oh, the one that has to be notarized?
Yeah, there's one that, yeah, the EC, the environmental covenant, and then I need the AWAS task order as well. Which will bill you guys, but I never got a signed copy of it.
Well, why don't well, is it time? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
We can get started.
we'll call the order, the Roosevelt Airport Board Meeting for October 13th, 5:30. I'll do roll call. I'm Colton Roberts.
Wyatt Stansfield.
Hunter Webb.
Corey Lane.
Kim Sylvester.
Okay, and then I'm using the agenda. I have no idea what's next.
Sorry. I'm trying to pull it up too. Here? There you go. So
Okay, do we need to go over the minutes?
We met in April 21st, 2022. I think I got everything. I sent the draft minutes out to everyone. What's missing? I had to leave the room or something like that. So I need a little bit of help making sure I get the attendance, and then I'm not sure who motioned to approve and second the minutes. So if anyone knows now, great. If not, just maybe think about it during the meeting and you can get with me after the fact.
I probably motioned it, or. Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
there-
guys are very voluntary.
Yeah. Just,
You guys are not in the Navy. Which stands for never again volunteers.
Okay, motion in a second. And I have that, let's see, Clyde, Colton, Kim, and JR were here. Does that sound right?
That does sound right. There was quite a few.
Yeah.
So-
Your dad.
Those are the changes I would recommend to the minutes that are currently displayed. If you have any other changes.
Okay. Do we need to vote on that? or
Yes, we
anything?
do.
Okay, I motion for the minutes. That we
To
said,
approve the minutes.
to approve the minutes, yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then,
You want back to Zoom or do you want me to scroll to your next item here?
no, I've got the agenda up.
Ready, okay.
Yeah, or whatever you want to do there, that's fine.
Good to go. Okay.
Colton, I was gonna request if we could change the order of the items under number 4 a little bit. I would like to put the airport master plan project kickoff discussion first.
Okay, what, just in case, but I guess we have a quorum here. What is the stuff that needs to be voted on? Because I guess legally we can all, we can vote on anything.
Anything that's on the agenda. now.
Okay, good. Alright, then I guess, yeah. Go ahead. Take
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Kirby, is that you?
Yeah. All right, yep, that's me. I just wanted to make sure you knew I was here.
Awesome, thank you, Kirby. So I wanted to push the airport master plan kickoff item first. I've got 2 people on the Zoom call here. One, Neil Frazier. He's been at several of our meetings and very active. He's the project manager for the master plan. And then, so I'll let him run it right after I introduce Matt. Matt Moss is with the state, UDOT Aeronautics. And Matt is traveling right now, so, but we wanted to give you a couple minutes, Matt, if you want to say hi or whatever you wanted to talk about here.
Yeah, I just really wanted to, a chance to say hi and check in. I started with aeronautics in April, and basically I'm the state representative for Roosevelt. So if anything I can do to help you out, please feel free to give me a call. I believe Kim has all my contact information. She can pass that around. And I'm looking forward to getting out to the airport here, hopefully before the end of the month, so I can get eyes on the airport. And but again, just want to support Roosevelt and all their projects and get you guys as much money as we can. So thanks for letting me break into the meeting today.
Absolutely, and then Matt's also going to be one of the members on the technical advisory committee for the master plan. as well, so he'll be included in a lot of the, and they're also a funding partner on the project as well. UDOT has a grant for this project too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, just want to make sure we're, to introduce and.
Is it a specific
It's
grant?
the match for the FAA grant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
little less than 5% match.
Okay.
The FAA puts in the 90.63%, and then the rest of it is split between Roosevelt City and the UDOT.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. All right. Neil, I'm gonna scroll down to your item here and we'll take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. Can you guys hear me okay over there?
Yep, hear you great.
Yeah.
Okay, we were gonna bring this up at the last meeting that we ended up not doing back in July, I believe. But so at that time, we were looking for the kind of the culmination and conclusion of signatures for the contract and the grant and all the paperwork that would get this project going. Well, the city went ahead and moved ahead with all of that. The grant has been taken care of. It's signed and documented. UDOT's involvement is secured, and we're ready to get moving on the project. In fact, we have already started some of the work on the project. Kim mentioned the technical advisory committee, and that's kind of the first big thing that we're looking for and looking forward to. And we've asked Beth Colton to help us in assembling a list of two things. One is stakeholders, and the other is technical advisory committee members. And the difference there is the stakeholders could be anybody who has a vested interest at the airport. And our intention with those is that we will conduct an in-person if we can, if not, then over the phone or through a video conference interview with them and just get feedback on the airport, the community, and some other questions about how they interact with the airport and what they'd like to see happen there. The other group is the Technical Advisory Committee. That group we want to actually invite to a series of meetings that we will conduct, probably 4, maybe 5 meetings that we'll conduct over the next 18 months or so. And we'll look for a little bit more in-depth discussion with them on the future plans for the airport. So ideally, those two groups of people won't necessarily overlap. We'll have those who we interview, and then we'll have those who come and participate with us in a group of meetings. And I guess there could be, 1 or 2 people in that group that kind of span both genres, if you will. But by and large, we want to have some diversity there. The Technical Advisory Committee should include representatives from the city, possibly emergency services. Kim mentioned the state involvement. We'd like to extend an invitation to the county commission. We recently went through this process over in Duchesne, and we had Irene Hansen involved from the county commission. We hope that she or someone else would be involved there.
Mike Hyde was also there.
Mike Hyde and the other from county planning. So really good involvement to get those sorts of folks. Again, city officials, city representatives from a couple different departments, hopefully administration, public works, of course, and then elected officials. So we've started to assemble that list. Colton's been instrumental in helping us get that put together. So we're still processing that a little bit. And we hope that we'll have that finalized here in the next couple of days and start reaching out to those folks to set up interview times and get our meeting going. I'll jump down to that in just a minute, but for that, the other thing that we need that's really critical for us to get going is an updated report from based aircraft. This is the official accounting of how many aircraft exist on the airfield. Again, Colton has helped in doing that, and we think that we've got an accurate and up-to-date based aircraft report at this time. Unless anything changes between now and maybe say like the end of the year, that our most recent report is the one that we'll go with. At that point, then we need to just decide that that's the report we're going to use in our study, and we'll maintain with that number. Even if more aircraft come in, we'll just report the number that was there at the time that we began our study, and that will be the course of what we'll use for our basis.
Colton, you had just done that recently, right?
Pretty recent, but I think, well, we had some aircraft come and some aircraft leave. So, I mean, it's like the numbers pretty much the same, but just different aircraft.
Different aircraft may or may not make a difference. If we're trading out Cessna 182s for Cessna 182s, it doesn't matter. But if you have something more significant come in, then we definitely would want to know that. If there's a newer, larger airplane on the list.
That would be different.
Yeah. But again, there's still an opportunity to get that list updated for our report if we need to. If not, we think we've got a pretty accurate count, and that's what we're looking for at this point. So we're good there. We'll continue to. We've primarily been working through Kirby on support from the city. He and Clint have been doing a good job. One of the things we've been doing is collecting photographs with game cameras at the runway and taxiway. So as aircraft come and go, we're getting pictures of them and regularly getting downloads from the city on that information. And then we're hoping to have this first meeting, this first technical advisory committee meeting we're shooting for December 7th.
Not the 8th.
Not the 8th, I think. 6th, 7th, 8th is that week. Right now, I believe we're looking at the 7th, which is Wednesday of that week. Depending on availability and being able to get a venue there, I spoke with Kirby a couple of weeks ago, and he suggested that probably we would meet there in that room that you folks are in now.
Yeah.
And that'll work fine as long as that's available for us and everybody's okay with that. So we'll appreciate the city's help in coordinating venue and time and that sort of thing. For us, it would be really nice if that meeting were able to be in the afternoon. We understand that sometimes that's a little bit challenging if people on the committee have other responsibilities. So we'll look to you for some direction on timing for that meeting. But we would hope to have that maybe like early afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock. Something.
We're hoping for like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Would be available then.
Just so you're aware.
Okay, so yeah. Sunshine was saying that on the 7th, they have planning and zoning at 5:30.
Okay.
We have to be out of there.
If we do the 7th and we do it at 1 or 2 o'clock, we'll certainly be out of the way.
Usually about 2 hours. Clyde likes 1 o'clock.
Okay. 1 o'clock. We'll bring some water and cookies to keep people awake, or some drinks and cookies or something. The first meeting is usually a little bit longer as we move through the process. We trim that down a fair bit, but that first meeting will probably take an hour to get through and give people time for discussion and that sort of thing.
This is Matt Moss with the state. If I could jump in for just a second.
Please.
We just finished an RFP for airport monitoring system, and I believe Roosevelt was one of the airports that is going to get it. And so that is going to help with your based aircraft, your aircraft operational count. And we hope to have that installed and operational hopefully by the end of December. So hopefully that'll give you some good data for the master plan.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Kim and I have been familiar with that. We've actually brought that up with this group before, that might be a possibility coming down the pike. So we'll look forward to some great information to help us out for sure.
Yeah, that contract should hopefully be signed here in the next couple of weeks, and they were very aggressive about getting the equipment installed and up and running. So I'm very optimistic by the end of the year.
Okay, great, thank you. That's really what I had for this group at this point, and any questions or discussion that we need to field at this point. But that's the main points to get us started there, guys.
Yeah, my notes said that we needed to try to schedule the daytime and location for that meeting. So it sounds like December 8th, shooting from 1 p.m. I will confirm with the board as well, but And then here in City Hall, we've been in the chamber room. And then I've got the list of folks that list, that one.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, and just to look over what, the names that Colton gave us and then see if we can't fill in some of those blanks. And just discuss that a little bit more too, or who to put.
Do we need to review that here at this time?
I think it might be good. One of the missing areas I have is, do we want a city council representative, city fire, or city police representative on the technical advisory committee? We used to have Vince, who was council member. I don't think we have any council members besides,
Says
the
Jared.
mayor. Yeah, besides the mayor now. But JR's on the list. So, I mean, if you guys think that's enough representation from city council, because he can go back on. We could have Sean as a police officer. Yeah, we're just looking for emergency response. So, yeah, that or.
Okay.
You know, it's the airport.
Yeah,
What's that?
he does know the airport. And then any other airport users, or tenants that you can, in the next month or so that you see out there, either of you that hang out there. Do you hang out there much?
Nope.
Okay. Have you seen anybody out there?
Kim,
Yeah.
real quickly, I think one of the things I brought up with Colton and maybe worth bringing up here is if there are anyone who
Leon.
would kind of be a negative voice in the community or someone that we certainly want to hear from because they have a very strong opinion or some level of outcry. Those are good candidates for us to interview as stakeholders because that gives them an opportunity to engage in the process and be heard and for us to receive their feedback before we get down the road and then have them come back later and start throwing darts at a plan that isn't satisfactory to them. So if there's any of those members or neighboring property owners or things like that that are of any kind of concern, then, but please bring those up and let us know if we should be reaching out to them, those types of folks as well.
Okay.
You want Howard on
Well,
there? One exchange, the other, I don't know.
And Mr. Ross, would be another one that could
Yeah.
consider, as well. What was that, Kirby?
I didn't know if you're, definitely two guys, if you really want to kind of push back.
Actually, Dr. Page.
Oh, Dr. Page, yeah.
Great, it would be a great one to have on there. No, he has lots of ideas.
Sure.
You have his number and I can put it on the list.
Yeah, so we're still filling out the list, hasn't finalized it. So that's what, we just wanna make sure like Neil said, sometimes it's better to bring them into the fold and into the planning process, and, if you do have, those personalities that could be, dissenters or people that, have, negative opinions of an airport or something. Or don't want to-
Opinions, good and bad. I mean, he's very outspoken.
Bring them into the process. And,
Well,
Yeah, do you have that?
and the point here is, guys, is if we don't do that, we're doing our job appropriately.
the representation.
Both as contractors to the city, being a public entity, that really is part of the crux of being a public entity. So we do feel compelled to make sure that we reach out to those folks and let them be heard. And ultimately, just to be clear, whatever the plan is going forward is ultimately the responsibility and decision of the city council. So the technical advisory committee will make the recommendations, we'll develop all the paperwork that eventually gets presented to the city council. The city council has to adopt and approve that plan. So even though we'll get some negative commentary or maybe some weird, wild ideas, those things don't necessarily have to make it into the plan because it is the city's plan, and the city gets final say for what's going to happen at the airport there. So, but we do want to let those people be heard.
There's Kirby. We have you as the airport board representative as well as Colton. That is just placeholders. If neither one of you want to be on the TAC, that's fine. who would you recommend then from the board? We would like,
Yeah, I don't mind being on the time.
okay, or do
Well,
we,
that'll be fine with me.
yeah, do we want to add anyone else from the board on there, as well? Volunteers. Okay, no volunteers.
The board members should get on the list to at least be interviewed.
Okay.
If they're not going to be on the technical advisory committee, maybe not all of them
Hunter, you're on the list for interview already.
be interviewed, but if they're willing, we'd certainly love to hear from them.
Are you willing?
Sure.
Are you willing?
Yeah, I get that too.
I'm
Sure.
You're on the table. You're on the table.
I'm already stuck there.
Either way.
Okay,
Let me just say one last thing, and then probably time for me to be quiet and let you guys move on. Part of the process will include some additional outreach to a wider audience, where we'll try and publicize and invite in the public at large, either through the city council process or through an open house type of meeting. And we'll also try to make all the documentation through the process available to the city to post on their website, so that anyone that's interested in what we're doing can have access to that. But there will be an opportunity, kind of the midpoint through the project, maybe, I don't know, maybe, 5/8 of the way through the project, if that's
after we have alternatives.
project fraction. Yeah, when we get to the alternatives and kind of the final preferred development plan, then that's when we'll want to take it to a wide audience and have some discussion about what's going to happen in the future and get some feedback there. But thank you guys, we appreciate it. Hopefully it'll be a great project, and we're looking forward to some engagement from all of you folks and the others in the community there, and put together a plan that should be something that sets you up really great for the next decade.
Awesome. Thank you, Neil and Matt, for joining us. If you're welcome to stay on as long as you want, or you can sign off whenever.
I'll probably hang out for about 5 or 6 minutes, Kim, and I'll just drop off when I have to.
Awesome. Well, while we're on that too, then we do have ACIPs coming up too on that. I just looked at what Christy had sent. Neil, it is saved in our folder for the ACIPs if you wanted to look at that on whenever you get a chance, but not a lot on it. The next project coming up would be a fencing project next year, 24, and then pavement maintenance. So that's one of the reasons for the master planning process is to generate, the next, 20 years of projects that we could be considering at this airport. Awesome. Okay, that's it for that one. Colton, I'm happy to start back at the top. Or
On A?
go.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll start on A.
We'll start back up on A. AWAS, the A is the AWAS equipment replacement update. So that is. Wow, my PDF is nice and slow tonight. You wanna pull it up for everyone else? Let's see if my PDF will come back to me.
Can't
Do you
remember.
want that first?
There we go.
You got it?
Yeah,
Is the AWAS broke or it's about to break?
the cylinder has been broken.
It's just that
The ceiling doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of spending $30,000 on a new cylinder, we looked at what it would, 20-plus-year-old system, looked at what it would cost to replace all of the equipment on the system, on the existing towers. So there's no construction needed, no digging or underground work. Wire. Yeah, so that we got quotes. Original quotes we got last winter were higher, about $120,000. Went through the official FAA process to get 2 quotes. We got 3 quotes actually, from 3 different companies, and, that was more competitive. So the cost came down about $104,000 for DBT to do the work. They are currently under contract now, I understand. Kirby, do you recall?
Yes, that's correct. Excuse me, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and then, it looked like the equipment was gonna ship on the 7th of December and get installed hopefully by the end of the year. And then that is covered by a grant from the FAA. We're using the bipartisan infrastructure law funding that the airport is getting, and that funding, I think, is around $158,000 a year for 5 years. Might be wrong on that one. But so the bill funding that we're actually using there is set up there. So we're using partial of that for 2022 year. So $100,839, and then UDOT Aeronautics is kicking in 5,200, and the state is 5,200. So that is the overall cost of that project. The reasons I want to limit is because there's also a task order for JEB, that's us to assist with this project, in coordinating, getting the quotes, coordinating with the contractor that's doing the work, coming out for a final inspection on when it's all done, to make, walk through with Clyde or Kirby or whoever, make sure it all works and all that. I had on here that we need attorney signature on the co-op agreement. That has been taken care of since last week. And the task order, I do still need a signature on, and that's in the file for the mayor to sign. So those are the 2 items on that one. That's my task order.
So as soon as they get those signed, then it's up for sure.
Well, I've been building on that other one because it was approved in April.
Oh,
I just
okay.
never got a signature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's a go. We're going.
Okay.
I'm following up with the paperwork.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people, when I was going on this list, that's what a lot of people were complaining about. They're like, yeah, you just fixed the sealometer? How does that say?
Stilometer, yeah.
Stilometer. New one.
So this is that co-op agreement that's in there next. Again, that's been signed, and yeah, it's just going real slow. Next item is the environmental covenant for the fuel system area that we started, 2 years ago, I think now. It was ready a while back, last spring, but then, Mayor and Grant found some language in there they weren't comfortable with. So we got that updated, and now all we need on this is a signature. That also requires a notary, so Sunshine can do that. But the DERR, it requires a wet signature on that, Sunshine. So I'll need, once it's signed, if the mayor doesn't come in tonight,
He should be in
send the whole packet.
Okay. Yeah, he did say that he would be running a little bit late, but he would be your assignment.
Okay, just in case he gets come, it doesn't need to be sent in wet signature. I was hoping to take it back to, so that,
Worst case scenario, I'll throw it in a manila envelope and mail it to you if it gets signed.
Perfect.
Tomorrow morning.
awesome. Okay, that was the only thing on that one. We've been through this one a few times. Any reason to go through any of that other pages on the EC?
That's just the outline of everything that's.
Yeah, so there's 2 main parcels for the airport, and so it's actually affects two parcels. And it's right there, that fuel system. So, this is where the existing storage tanks is, and it's an approximate plume that's underneath there for that. So what that environmental covenant, just to review, means is that, it gets signed, and then it goes to the county, and the county records it and with the deeds for the land. So it becomes part of the property feeds or whatever.
Oh, so it's just saying,
Description. And then what that also says is before a contractor or anybody does any digging in that area, they have to remediate or remove, do the hazmat removals,
Oh.
things like that. It's just, we can leave it alone for the time being until somebody's ready to start
digging?
digging.
Okay, so
And
just
then,
don't
oh no,
dig
I think it's a hazmat, it has to be a hazmat contractor. I don't know that it has to be remediated, but it has to be a hazmat contractor.
Don't dig there. Huh?
Yeah, so that's basically,
Is that because fuel leaked in the past?
right, and that's the whole reason for it, is that there is fuel down. It's from, yeah, from when what I understand, there used to be underground fuel tanks there, and when they were removed, they leaked during that removal process. So when we were expanding the apron in 2014, they were excavating it near there, and that sparked a fire. That's how it was discovered. So
That changed, huh?
apparently,
Not a boss.
we're just talking about you.
Oh, good.
I were just
I'm getting used to that.
summing up on the environmental covenant. I got that here for signature for you, and then Sunshine to notarize that tonight. And
Okay.
I will hand deliver it. I'll take it back with me and hand deliver it.
Yeah, we did that. You signed.
No, not that one. That one was wet signature. There was a bunch of stuff that came through at the same time. There was
Okay.
several grants that
Yeah.
state co-ops and other things that came through that was DocuSign.
You have it.
Yes, Sunshine. has it.
Okay.
And the other thing she has for me to sign is the task order that goes with the AWAS system. We approved that back in April, so there's 3, because I never got your signature. There's it, yeah.
I tried to remove it. Show up late. Get another.
And then we also, Mayor talked about the master plan. We got a list of folks to include, and I can fill you in after the meeting too, to include a list of folks, we want to include on the technical advisory committee and also stakeholders that we want to have interviewed. For that, we're looking to have a kickoff meeting with the technical advisory committee December 7th, around 1:00 in this room, if possible. Next item is fencing is, Claudia, you want to talk about that one?
Yeah.
I can set it up. You want- So, it was brought to this area below the airport, or on the east side of the airport is, starting to get developed by the landowner. As such, they discovered that this little portion of the fence here, was actually on their property. So Clyde and his folks, labored hard and intensely, got that moved back. About how many feet do you think you guys went back?
We're 8 foot space and we put 30 to 35 posts.
Yeah.
Less than.
Well, you pulled it back from where it was about at least 5
We're
feet.
actually, yeah, we're on our property. I think we put.
Yeah, because they had the pins up there, right? So you can see
Yeah,
that it was
we
perfect.
made sure that we were.
Okay, so this problem's actually been resolved.
Yep.
So we're all good there.
Like a lot of rocket. So,
They're growing well.
yeah.
They're growing well. Oh, we found a lot of rock during the taxiway project too.
We do that.
And the last thing I had, other than I do have new items maybe for future, and I'll wait for that though. AIP grant updates, just wanted to review the grants that you guys have open, and they're coming out. Looks like I forgot to fill in the remaining on that second one, but CARES Act grants closed out. The CRISA grant has about half the funds remaining, just under half the funds are remaining on that one. And then we have not taken any drawdowns on the ARPA grant. So those 3 grants are, people are calling it the COVID grants. They're operations and safety type, to increase health and safety at airports. So,
So I remember the CRSA grant, the CRSA
Mhm.
grant. I remember talking about that and how we would have that money left over and thinking about towards renovation as well as the art.
Mhm. Yes,
And the 30,000,
that's
is-
closed. That was for the hangar door replacement.
right, so that's what I was thinking, it's done,
Yeah.
paid, it's gone.
Yeah.
But we still do have the 41,000 between the other two.
Not 41, but you have, because you've already drawn down half of the 9,000, so you have,
Oh, 4,500, okay,
yeah, 3,700.
Okay.
hopefully. 37,000, I mean.
Right.
It's probably more what you have there.
that's still a good start to the roof.
It is.
The roof is gonna be expensive, but
Just
Yeah.
a new building, let's just get a new building.
So I do want to say, since we've started talking about this, the FAA has been getting, the ADO and folks have been getting more pushback from the national side on those grants, on what is considered maintenance versus capital improvement. I need to submit a question to the email that they set up for questions for these kinds of grants. I asked our FAA
that
representative.
should be,
If you're replacing the entire roof, they're starting, some are considering that capital maintenance. If you're just replacing tiles or certain areas or patching, then that's maintenance.
no, we're gonna do the whole roof.
Right, so I wanna push, so I've got a plan for this though, I'll inquire, on your behalf and make sure that that would be eligible. If it is not, it's just a matter of shifting, that would come out of the airport budget then, but then we'd look at shifting
Other areas. we could-
other expenses you guys have at the airport. And those expenses can go back 2 years. So it could be your electricity bills, could be the cleaning, if you hire a cleaning service for the pilot lounge, it could be that, those
Oh, so you're
bills.
saying that is for maintenance?
It's for operations and maintenance. It cannot be, they're
It
considered,
can't be capital project.
correct.
Okay, I was mistaken, I thought.
Yeah. No, it is for operations and maintenance. So if we cannot, so they consider the door maintenance, replacing the
We'll
door.
just replace it a little at a time on the roof. Like one week we'll replace this section and next week. this section.
But, right, so it's just a matter of moving, where you put those bills, those invoices in the city's budget.
Well, and I hate to draw that out, do this out any longer, this discussion about that, but what if it was tearing out insulation and replacing some insulation, could we do
Probably do that,
as a maintenance? Because we do
Probably.
need to insulate that building.
right?
So even
And then
if it
do some
takes for the
patching on the top?
insulation- Yeah, exactly.
Then we
So the
could,
patching will pay
I feel
more,
more comfortable about that.
but the insulation,
Well, with the roof just accidentally windstorm blew it out.
The whole thing.
all at once.
Maybe half and
Maybe
really
not
damage
really
the other
good.
half and
Drill
put
the
half
rivets
the
and then slip
insulation.
them into-
The other thing we could do is always submit the invoices and try. The other thing you could do though, we could always submit the invoices for reimbursement, and if the FAA comes back and says, no, this doesn't work, then we just regroup and submit other invoices that are legitimate expenses,
It's all
like,
set.
like water or, your electricity bills or your AWAS maintenance contracts, stuff like that is eligible. That AWAS is like $5,000-6,000 a year.
Yeah,
So you've got probably 2 or 3 years on that now with those invoices. So, it won't be hard to come up with $32,000 over the last 2 years, having been spent at that airport, I don't think. Mayor.
Right.
So it's just a matter of just the accounting side of it.
sure.
And then the master plan, project, the grant is out and issued and fully executed. So we can start doing drawdowns on that as we incur more and more expenses. Neil is really starting to ramp up on that one, so we'll start getting more invoices, for that, so we can put an RFR together for that anytime. A request for reimbursement. And then the AWAS grant is also issued. We did get, I can't type. We did get the city attorney on that, signature on that one. That one is fine and ready to go. So it's,
That
did
must-
you guys have to pay that bill already? $100,000?
No, because they haven't come and done
Okay, so that's why I was wondering if there was a down payment or anything on
it.
it.
When are they gonna come and replace our AWAS system?
It's set to be delivered on the 7th, and they're wanting to get it in before the end of the year.
That would be fantastic.
So I just didn't know if you guys had to pay a down payment on that. Kirby, do you know?
No, I don't think we have.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as you guys do make any payments on that, just send me an invoice or the proof of payment or whatever it was, and I can get the reimbursement going for it.
Okay, we'll do.
And that includes this grant, Mayor, includes that $7,000 task force you signed.
Cool.
Okay, that's the end of my agenda items that I had. Pilot lounge renovation, I believe was one of your items that you had submitted to Sunshine,
I thought that was Kirby's.
or is it Kirby's?
I think it's Kirby's.
Oh, gotcha. Kirby, you wanna talk about pilot lounge renovation?
Yeah, what I got on the renovation part is, I know there's gonna maybe try to have some participation. Is that not correct, Mayor? We budgeted 10,000 for some of the renovations for the lounge area.
Yeah, so we had talked about the renovations in the lounge area, but we decided not to do a whole lot in the, I think we budgeted for the roof too. We have some in the budget.
We did.
And so the lounge area, I think was coming after the roof. So we wanted to get the roof done, everything sealed up tight, make sure we have no leaks, and then start the lounge area.
Yeah, that's correct, but we also had 10,000 budgeted for that renovation after the roof.
Yeah, sure. And are you thinking to try to match? See, that's something we could use that 32,000 for, possibly.
Renovations in there?
Well, the carpet needs done, it needs painted, the walls need, yeah. So I think that would be a good use of that 32,000. Now, Kirby, were you thinking we could possibly leverage that 10,000 for more grant money for something, or?
Possibly, but yeah, if we could use that 32,000, that would be fantastic.
Another resource, I don't know if this would apply, UDOT has money available, $100,000 each year to be allocated to several small projects, so not a whole 100,000. But you can apply here through UDOT to do airport revitalization grants. It says that the purpose of those to support visual aspect of airport facilities and grounds. I don't know if that includes the inside of the pilot lounge, but it could be for airport signage, it could be for landscaping, around the planters, or anything to make the, coming into the airport, or for pilots coming into the airport, more visually appealing. It is the front door for a lot of folks that come through. It might be the first time to Roosevelt, and how they're received, and kind of getting off an airplane could, affect whether they want to come back again. But there is that to consider as well. So it's an application through UDOT's website here.
I say any opportunity we can get any kind of money like that, even if there's strings attached, that only benefits you. And
Right, I think we would need to identify some projects.
yeah, so if we know the parameters of what that money can be spent on, I'm sure we can come up. Because it's just
Visibility and aesthetics is what it says.
Well, I can tell you, so the aesthetics on the outside of the building, like, those underneath where that, the lounge area is, and you have those ugly wood things that are just.
The wood paneling.
So painting the outside of the building, like, stuccoing those or something, throwing a little rock in the front, like that type of thing, just making it look like it's not from 1970. Because it looks like it was built in 1970.
Yeah, so I was just looking through the application here, meaningful description of the project. Are you gonna be a sponsor? Yes. Screenshot of the mapped area.
We're doing the room.
Pictures of the area.
Paint it white, sometimes.
No, you just look good in those.
The exterior. I think so, yeah.
And the sign,
Right, absolutely. Yeah, sign for it. Yeah, so I mean, you do need to have a list of supplies, equipment needed for the project
Okay.
to apply, providing itemized project costs and your payment schedule.
Could you email us that criteria that we need to meet, and then we'll get some projects.
Yeah, I'll try to print this out. Have you received negative feedback from the public or others related to the project area? And
Yes.
provide detailed
Yes.
response. How many high-level flights are impacted due to issues related to that project area?
And that's our pilot lounge inside getting that
Yeah.
fixed is the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So then how many people airside and landside are affected due to the issues? If approved, tracking customer feedback, and if approved, how you maintain it for future use. So that's,
How do we track customer feedback? After,
Just
Do a survey.
Customers that we want, that get the feedback. No, just kidding.
And then-
Is it slip drop off?
you could do it, forms for when they come in, or one of those little QR codes, or
perfect.
for a survey to say, hey, how was your experience? Do you like our sign? I don't know.
You know what, that might not hurt before we start remodeling. Do just something like that, a survey, and say, what do you like, what don't you like, how could we better improve the airport? Because that would help us in our renovation too, to know what to focus on and what they experience other places and what to provide.
Because a lot of people that were on this list we made, and a lot of them said they want like a room, we have a room there in the back. They do more of a third room, but they kind of just hit the place, like pilots go back
They
and
go to
sleep,
and, yeah.
and not so much like the front area where people
They're on the couches.
where they're on the couch. If you sit on the couch, that's fine, but they put like lazy boys in the back where a lot of people just knock out.
And a TV back there.
A
if they
TV
need to
or-
relax, yeah.
Even,
A vending machine in front would be nice.
that probably would be,
Popcorn maker.
Something
oh,
little.
we'll put that in there, then I'll never leave the hangar.
That's the point.
I
It's
know.
working already.
Be over there every day, picking popcorn.
So that's a good idea of course, if we get the grant, then we're going to have to do something like that for the public feedback, but it might not be a bad idea to do that. Just, who knows, we might not get a dang thing, but
I wonder if we could, and honestly, I don't want to volunteer Neil for this because it's his project, but we are doing the stakeholder interviews. We could add a few questions like that into our stakeholder interviews as well. Might be, and then pull that data out, those responses possibly.
And we do have a city survey monkey set up, and really would not be hard to expand survey questions to get that going and have a QR code at the airport.
it's that they could go straight to the link and.
And then they would just fill the survey out on their phone and we'd have it immediately.
Yeah.
Do you know of anybody, I'm sure if somebody else has applied for that grant, they'll have a set of questions that they ask.
There's been, I think, 3 grants were offered this last year. We're up there.
I'm just thinking, we could create our own questions, but if we look at others that have created some questions, maybe we can avoid some irrelevant ones and stick more ones that are more helpful, yeah.
And target it to answer the questions on the grant application.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing that everybody said that they love it when they come into Roosevelt, they like courtesy car. It's free in a sense, fill it up as you come back, but it works.
Has
It's
there
fun.
been-
We had to fix it together.
We have 6 over there.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah, we do.
we ought to grab one. We're down to one, we ought to grab and see, instead of auctioning that out.
Yeah, you should too.
Yeah, I think the other one happened. It was running on 4 cylinders and Randy was slipping.
But before we get rid of those cars, I think you make a good point. Let's see if we can, perfect. Let's see if we
Is it one of
can.
those, they're one of those also
Like,
people?
Because when we had 2, sometimes those were just both gone.
Yeah.
Because of how I know there's a lot of oil field guys coming in there and then, I mean,
We definitely need to.
at least two, yeah, would be,
So don't let me forget, but let's get a hold of Josh and then just say, hey, do not auction one of those.
Yeah.
Even if it needs to be a council decision. Let's put that on the agenda in the 1st of October. Oh, you know what? We're gonna talk about the auction stuff anyway. Can you make a side note on that to talk about those cars?
Perfect.
4 or 5 trucks in one go.
Mm-hmm.
maybe if you could get a truck, 'cause I know a lot of guys who love a truck because they have to go pick up stuff because they've been away.
You go to Price, they have a truck.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, just even, I don't know what kind of truck, it's
Just
a little bed in the back.
You know, like a half-ton Chevy. I think we have a couple of those over there.
Yeah, I'm sure they, yeah. For people who fly in the airport.
I was supposed to be here and only be here for 45 minutes, so I gotta go. Is there anything else? That's pretty much the agenda anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, the only other thing that I was gonna do for future, is we do have, ACIP meetings coming up. The capital improvement, so they just sent that the agendas out this week. Or not the agendas, that's ACIPs that we're gonna be updating, and that we need to sign up for a meeting. If the city would like to, we can sign up for a meeting to discuss the CIP.
I think so.
They are due on the 11th of November, so the meetings are peppered in the next few weeks between now and then
When would
to
you have
update that. I am
Because
open.
our roof wouldn't qualify for a capital improvement. Because you're
No.
talking more for asphalt.
Although it could qualify for the bill funding.
Okay.
And so we're into 23 now, so you have another 158,000 in that category as well, so that is capital. Like the AWAS.
What about the fuel truck? Kirby, how's the fuel truck going?
Okay, so the last proposal that I got, Craig, was he was willing to sell it for less if we make the repairs, and he had a gentleman that would be able to do the repairs. So I had discussed that with Josh, and we haven't moved forward yet either way.
Okay.
So, but that's where we're at on it.
Was it a lot of repairs or like, or fixing houses or replacing?
No, they're just been, no, it was just mainly valves and stuff, but you have to have a certified gentleman to work on that. He had a name and a person that would do it, but he was willing to sell the truck, drop it down to 10,000 for it if we wanted to pay for the repairs.
That would put the liability of repairs on us.
But what I would do, Kirby, let's, I think that would probably be the way to go. But before we purchase the truck, let's tell them that we'll do that, but if they've got the name to the guy that's certified to do the repairs, just have him come out and look through the whole truck and give us a list of what it'll take to repair. And then we can repair it ourselves, as long as we go into it eyes wide open.
All right, yeah, I'll follow up with that, Mayor.
Here are the dates coming up here.
Certifications you got to do.
I'll be able to tell you when I'm available right now.
It's not like that either.
Monday the 7th, I would be available Monday.
Okay, let's see, we've got all sorts of days, Monday and Friday next week are the only days I have.
Yeah.
Monday is the only day I can do it, so Friday I'm gonna be gone.
So 2 or 3, and then the 24th.
The 24th of October, that would work too.
Or Wednesday.
Well, what time, yeah, that would work, and then Wednesday I'm available on the 26th as well.
Okay, and let's see, they have a 9, 1, and 2 and 3 there.
Well,
I'm out on November 2nd.
So let's try one of those first
Or the ones,
three,
okay.
like the 17th, 24th, or 26th.
Sounds good. Let me, just make sure I'm open on that. 17th, which is Monday. I'm gonna probably. I'm gonna do 2 o'clock on the 17th.
All right, get out of here.
Do we need anybody else to be free? Like, Kirby, are you available at 2 o'clock on the 17th?
Maybe Josh.
And Josh? You know what Josh is.
What was the date again? I'm sorry.
Monday, the 17th.
Yeah, I'll be available.
Okay.
Would that be virtual then?
Yes, it will be virtual. I'll send a link out.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, I will get you signed up.
And what time did we decide?
2 o'clock. Kirby, I'm putting you in because you're listed as the airport manager.
Yes.
See you guys
Well,
later.
can you send an invite?
The FAA will send one out for you. We'll send one out to
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
I'm doing this right. Wolf, INJER. Right?
Yep. WOLLM.
And it's just a K before, right?
Let's see this truck.
Yeah.
Cause I know that all these guys on here,
Com.
the helicopters and stuff flying in, say they're begging for a fuel truck.
Yep.
Why are we doing this one?
So then you're driving to the airport, so.
Actually, might have you do the sign up. Cause I can only sign up for one and this would be my one. Then you'd be able to see.
Okay, if you send me the link, I can do that.
Yes. I will forward you something for that. We can do that after we're done here. Not waste that, all of your guys' time doing that.
Anything else on the?
Not on the agenda. That's my list.
That's your list? That's it on there, so. How do you say this? Turn to,
You entertain the motion to adjourn.
I entertain the motion to adjourn. Second. Alright. Well done, then.
Awesome. Adjourned.
Adjourn.
See you guys in 3 months.
Was you saying the fuel system was gonna be replaced, or have we ever decided that?
Mhm.